There are three types of seismic waves, and how they originate we have studied their causes. Now let us study how these three waves travel in the interior of the earth and affect us on the crust. For that, this mechanism of seismic waves will have to be studied. Here, this is focus or hypocenter. Sometimes focus are 100 km deep from the surface of the earth in asthenosphere, but sometimes deep focus are located up to 300 to 700 kilometers. So, the cause of this focus or hypocenter, as you know, is tectonic isostasy, and P waves originate from focus or hypocenter and travel in all directions this side, and in every side reach. They cross the core of the earth and reach at antipodal point in the duration of 21 minutes. Because as you know that the speed of primary wave is 6 to 7 km per second. On the basis of this speed, as you know the diameter of the earth, you can do this math and find the value of 21 minutes. And one question is that which point of the surface will experience first P wave. So the nearest point just over this focus will record first P wave, and this point is called epicenter with hypocenter. Hypocenter means in depth and epicenter means on surface. And just in a line, don't be confused between epicenter and hypocenter. Now, epicenter is a point on the earth's surface, while hypocenter is a point that is focus. Now let us try to learn the mechanism of the P wave, S wave and L wave. As we have discussed that P waves start from focus and radiate in all the directions, pass through the center of the earth. When these P waves travel through between this core and mantle, means Gutenberg discontinuity. Here, these waves slip and these lose their original character, and these come in a slanting way, reach between 102 and 143 degree, and these P waves don't reach here directly, rather indirectly in deformed shape. That's why this is called pseudozone. And this pseudozone, although receives surface waves, but these don't receive direct P wave, as it has been written here that between 102 degree and 143 degree angle in pseudozone, no direct P wave or S waves are received. S waves also slip from here. 2 points to understand is, suppose this is the center of the earth and this is one line vertical, and you draw this line, these angles are of 90 degree. So after this 90 degree, if you increase this, then 100, 102 degree here and 143 degree here. In the same way, this left side also, this is 90 degree angle, 102, 143. So you remember these pseudozones on two sides which don't receive direct P and S wave. Why? Because these slip and are deformed from Gutenberg discontinuity. As if there in rainy season some muddy surface as ground is there, and if you move straight you can reach your target, but on such a surface if you move fastly in a style you may fall, may be deformed, and the receiver may not identify you because you are having some mud on your body. So here between 143 and 143, between this, although P waves are received directly, because P waves when come straight cross the core of the earth, P waves are received, but here no S waves are received. Why? Because surface waves cannot cross this core of the earth. This is P wave zone. And one more thing is that between 102 and this 102 here, P waves are directly received, S waves are directly received, and as you know that L are surface waves result due to the impact of P and S waves. That's why love waves start from epicenter and travel in all directions here and here. As you know that love waves have to circumnavigate the entire surface of the earth, and love knows no sun, no shadow. So love wave will not recognize this shadow zone and they will travel in shadow because love is practiced in sun, shadow, rain, everywhere. That's why love waves will reach in this shadow zone and have their hazardous impact. Love waves will reach in this zone where P waves are there but not secondary waves. That's why love waves circumnavigate the entire earth surface and they reach the antipode also. Question may be asked, which place will experience very disastrous impact of love wave? So answer will be epicenter. Here on Richter scale there will be high level of disaster, while by reaching on the antipode their intensity and impact will decrease. So this is about the mechanism of P, S and L waves on the surface of the earth. Here seismograph, there is one instrument, seismograph, prepared to measure the three waves, their intensity and their mechanism. Previously seismograph was measuring on the scale Rossi-Forel, which was between 0 to 12 scale. Actually this scale measures the amplitude or magnitude of the waves. If the amplitude or magnitude is up to 1, 2, 3, it will have less impact, while if it is about 10, 11, it will have maximum disaster. After Rossi-Forel, this seismograph was again rectified and a new scale, Mercalli, was being established, which ranges between 0 to 11 scale. Later on, a new modification in seismographic scale was Richter scale. Today, it is in practice all over world and its range is 0 to 8 and above, while above 8 all the physical and cultural landscapes are destroyed. They cannot be identified, and up to 6 and 7 disaster starts. So these are the three seismographic scales. Now let us try to know how to locate this epicenter or focus on the earth. As you know that sometimes in newspapers the seismologists declare that the earthquake epicenter is lying on such latitude and longitude which is in water body. So on that point in ocean no seismograph can be put. So how they know that the epicenter is in ocean? Second point, if they declare that the epicenter is on a land at a particular place, certainly there also might have not been a seismograph installed. Had it been installed there, then this is natural calamity due to seismic waves. That point might have been damaged completely, seismograph also. So it is challenge before seismologists to locate the epicenter and focus. But the seismologists have found out a way to locate it with the help of three seismological stations. Suppose there are three seismological stations located on land in North America, Europe, and Africa. So, if the epicenter is in ocean body, then certainly the focus will be below 300 kilometer that epicenter. And from epicenter and from focus, the P waves travel fast and faster, and the P waves will reach one station from within the earth, and that seismograph will record the arrival time of P wave, and seismograph will wait the arrival of S wave, which will start from that focus or hypocenter. When S waves will reach that seismological station number 1, the arrival time will be noted. So, the arrival time of P and S waves has been noted by seismograph at station number 1. If the time difference is known, the speed difference is also known. As you know that P waves are 40% faster than S waves. So, on the basis of time difference and speed difference, the distance can be calculated. So, seismological station number 1 will compute the distance of focus, and with that distance an arc will be done from seismological station number 1 or A, this arc. The same practice will be done by the seismological station number 2 or B, and according to distance an arc will be drawn. These two will bisect at 2 points. Now there is confusion which one is focus. To clarify it, from seismological station number 3 or C, the next arc with the help of that distance will be drawn, and the third point will be find out, that is the real location of focus. And if you draw this figure three-dimensionally, just over it the epicenter can be allocated, and with that diagram the distance between the epicenter and focus can also be ascertained, and the depth of focus can be decided. So, this is the method how the focus and epicenters are being computed. Now, let us come to study the distribution of earthquakes in world. In distribution of earthquake in world, there are two main belts. Number one is circum-Pacific seismic belt. This one. Why earthquakes? Agar here you know it well, because here is destructive plate margin between Eurasian plate and West Pacific plate. Likewise, here this is also destructive plate margin between East Pacific plate and North and South American plates. And here, as you know that minor plates are located, like here Philippines plate, Bismarck plate, Caroline plate. In the same way, Gourde plate, Juan de Fuca plate, Najika plate, Cocos plate. That's why these plates are also responsible for earthquake here as well as volcano. So this is circum-Pacific seismic belt. The second very important seismic belt stretches from Mediterranean Sea through Himalayas and then Araucania and Indonesia. Why? Because this is also a destructive plate margin. There is conveyor belt beneath Joe. Here, this is, and as you know that it is located in the mid of continent. That's why this is called mid-continental belt. What is the name of that continent? The name of that continent is Afro-Eurasia. Afro-Eurasia is a supercontinent, and this is mid-continental belt. Although in Mediterranean Sea earthquakes occur, but here due to volcanic activities earthquakes are of not so much intensity as they are here in Iran, Iraq and China along the Himalayan belt and Araucania belt. Thus, these earthquakes are hazardous and disastrous. Why? Because it is densely inhabited by population. So, after knowing these two important seismic belts, now third point is along the fractures and faults, earthquakes also occur. Take example of India. In India also along fault lines earthquakes occur. But the best example of fault line or rift valley is in East Africa, that stretches from Nyasa Lake, Tanganyika Lake and through Red Sea and reaches up to Turkey. Along these, earthquakes frequently occur because this is a neo-tectonic belt. For example, in March 2018, Nairobi-Narok highway was damaged due to severe tremors. So, this is distribution of earthquakes in world. In seismology, to show the impact of seismic waves, maps have been drawn. In those maps, two types of lines are drawn. One is isoseismal line and second is coseismal or homoseismal line. What is isoseismal line? Suppose this is epicenter on the earth where the first seismic waves reached, and here suppose the Richter scale was 7 at this point, and around this there are a number of places where the intensity of seismic wave was 6 on Richter scale. So, this is 6 Richter scale isoseismal line. You can simply define isoseismal line as a line joining the places having the same 6 Richter scale intensity. Never forget intensity. When you will go away from this epicenter, further from this, the intensity of seismic wave will become 5 on Richter scale. So this will be isoseismal line of 5 Richter scale intensity. With the help of these, you can assess the impact of seismic waves, and an assessment of seismic hazard can be monitored. Likewise, if you draw a line joining the places, experiencing the earthquake at the same time, that will be called coseismal or homoseismal line. Suppose this is epicenter and earthquake occurred here first, and there are several points surrounding it where earthquake was noticed at 6 am. So this line will be called coseismal or homoseismal line. Certainly, at the further places from the epicenter, earthquake will be recorded later on at 6:1. So the line joining the places receiving earthquake at 6:1 means at the same time will be called coseismal or homoseismal line. You will keep in mind that in these both lines, isoseismal and coseismal, the structure or stratigraphy of that region is the main controlling factor, and according to that, the speed and time of these waves are controlled. Earthquakes occur on the surface of the earth, and the surface of the earth consists of two things: one, land part; second, water body. So let us understand what are the main impacts of these earthquakes. Number one, on ocean body, water body, is tsunami. How tsunami originates, travels, and affects badly the coastal area. This will be studied separately because this has been recently added by UPSC in Geography and General Studies course. Now come on the mountain land, plateau land, and plain land. On mountains, when tremors come, as you know that there is a steep slope. Along the slope, people have developed cultural landscapes like settlements, agricultural landscapes, roads, etc. So these are damaged vastly because of mainly landslides. Due to tremor, land falls, damaging or causing disasters there. And on plateau and plain, which are nearly flat, not so much disaster, but cracks are developed there, and such cracks have been found in Africa, in India also, and in other continents. Especially cracks are found on plateau land. For example, in India, seismogenic cracks are found there, along which a number of rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, etc. flow. So these are the impact of earthquake on the earth. Now there are some important points or questions before me and before seismologist, but it is matter of debate and discussion at world level. Question number one is, earthquakes generally occur in morning. If you see the data, the timing of earthquake is between 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. Why it happens, its real cause has not been studied yet. Once I was studying that sun can help predict earthquake, but nothing very concrete I could get. The second question is, rain occurs after earthquake. You will generally see that when the people disturbed and damaged by earthquake are standing, the rain god showers mercy, means severe rainfall occurs there, again torturing the people and landscape there. Why this rain occur? It has not yet been discussed. Some say that radon gas come out before P waves, but how radon gas causes condensation in atmosphere? It means seismology and climatology needs to be studied together for its clarification. One more question mark is that earthquakes between mid-June and mid-December are very disastrous. This observation was found by a common man in California who collected all the paper cuttings of earthquake, and when he generalized, found that the earthquakes occurring on the earth between mid-June and mid-December are very much disastrous, and a lot of people have been killed. Why? What is its reason? It can be generalized that during this period sun moves southward, but is there any relationship between southward movement of the sun and the earthquake? As we know that earthquakes are caused from within the interior of the earth, not external forces. So this question is also a matter of debate at global level. One more question is that before the arrival of the earthquake, there are some animals which experience or sense the waves. So our seismograph records P wave, S wave, and L wave. It means these animals, rats, snakes, dogs, sense some microwaves which are shorter than P waves. It means our animals can sense better than the instrument like seismograph. And one example, you might have heard about a dog who caught the house owner by mouth and dragged that house owner, Malkin, out of house. Just after that, earthquake occurred and entire building collapsed. That's why that dog saved the house owner, madam. Likewise, rats. You might have seen rats within the earth coming out of the hole before arrival of the earthquake. It means this animal senses the microwaves of earthquake. That's why you might be knowing that why Lord Ganesh selected this rat as means of communication, because Lord Ganesh was patient of sugar. Why? Because he liked laddu and sweets much, and he selected that rat for means of communication because rat sensed shapes previously, and that's why made his owner aware that, my lord, you move and flee away soon because earthquake is about to come. In the same way, snakes also sense feel earthquake 12 days before, according to studies in China. And you might be knowing that this snake is being used as garland by Lord Shankar. Why Lord Shankar used to live in mountain? Lord Shankar used to live on mountain, plateau and plain. Certainly answer is mountain, Kailash mountain. And that is one of the severe seismic belt of the world. And as you know that Lord Shiva used to do meditation and he forgot everything, that is seismic zone. That's why this weapon snake sensed 12 days before that earthquake and alarmed the god Shankar to flee away from there, otherwise there is chance of damage. So these are the animals, and this story suggests us that we should be eco-friendly to these animals. Now today we should decide that never kill dog, rat and snakes, because if the plastic technology surgery will develop, then we people can have some skin part of this rat or snake on our back that is alive with the help of tissue culture, and that will give us previous sense of earthquake and we can save our lives. And these are also related because this rat is associated with Lord Ganesh, while this snake associated with Lord Shiva. And as you know, the relationship between rat and snake, what relationship? Friendly or enemically? It is enmity relationship, because if snake will see rat, snake will eat rat away. Why? Because the Ganesh son and Lord Shiva father both had good relation or bad. I think Shastras tell that Lord Shiva cut throat of Ganesh. That's why it shows that the relation between owner also continued between the relation of the rat and snake. So these are some of the questions which are to be answered, and these are to be debated, and especially point of research for seismologists. Earthquake is a natural disaster. Its consequences are very bad and fatal. That's why seismologists and common people are also concerned with its prediction and forecasting. So here earthquake prediction and forecasting are the two things. In forecasting, we study the frequency, its hazards impact in a given area and period. It means in a particular area and during some years which quake incidence is going to take place and what will be its frequency, how much hazardous it will prove. These are studied in it. For this, the study of structural rock or stratigraphy is important, and for that elastic rebound theory has been propounded by Reed in 1910, in which he observed that even the hard rock like granite and basalt also undergo elasticity. Due to it, the tremors move through different types of waves through the rocks. The prediction of earthquake is different from forecasting. In prediction, there is a specification of time, means within a particular period of time it is predicted. Second point, location is also fixed. Third point, magnitude is also predicted. So these three things are predicted in a shorter period, particular location. So the prediction differs from forecasting. In prediction, there are a number of methods. Number one, animal behavior. As we have studied, some animals like dog, rat, snake show unique type of behavior. That's why we can predict earthquake on the basis of their activity. Second method is velocity of P wave and velocity of S wave have some ratio. So velocity of P wave and velocity of S wave ratio helps us predict the earthquake. This method has been applied in Blue Mountain Lake region, which is located near New York State, United States of America. The third prediction point is radon emission. As we know that before earthquake, some radon gases are emitted and go in sky. Radon is radioactive mineral gas and its half-life is 3.8 days. So on the basis of its radioactive nature, earthquake is predicted. And the last method is electromagnetic anomaly. Before earthquake, there is discharge of electromagnetic waves from within the earth. On the basis of study of this electromagnetic anomaly, we can predict earthquake exactly.